Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Shamsa. I hope you guys are all doing amazing. I am really new to the whole YouTube scene, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me and be kind. I cannot stress that enough. Please be kind. I am here today to share with you an experience that I've had when I was 18. Just about to turn 18 actually. So I was 17 turning 18. This experience took place in Somalia, but it started in the UK. I was living in the UK since I was 7 years old. And when I was 17, I started to have, you know, rebellious traits and acted out a little bit, like every teenager does. And me and my mom came to a conclusion for me to go to Somalia. And that's exactly what we did. December 2010. We went to Dubai and we spent 2 weeks there and, you know, doing all girly stuff and shopping. And my mom bought me this beautiful camera to keep whilst I was there, to take pictures and stuff for memory. So we left Dubai, we went to Somalia, and when we got there, my mom stayed with me for about 4 days, and she returned to the UK, and I stayed in Jigjigo, and my auntie Shamsa came to pick me up and take me to another town called Buluburte. And this was a really long car journey. Like when I tell you, it's like 3-4 days. And each stop was, we visited someone in the area, whether it was a family member or a friend. So it was really nice. Finally, we got to Buluburte. We pass Baladweyne and we get to Buluburte. And the first few days were really nice. And then about 3 days on, I was told that there was something called Tashir that was about to happen. And I'm like, what's Tashir? And they explained that it was something that Al-Shabab performed. And it was kind of, if someone was convicted of a crime or they were found guilty, they would punish the person publicly. So in this case, it was a male who stole something, and apparently he had 3 warnings, and this was his 3rd warning, and you know, he was having his hand chopped off. I was like, no, you know, they're not going to do that to their own people. This is my people. No, like I used to see this on TV, and it used to always be on the media about Al-Shabab this, Al-Shabab this, Al-Shabab that. So I didn't believe it. Boy, was I wrong. And although my auntie tried really hard to convince me to stay, I thought, no, I have to go. I want to see this for myself. And that's exactly what I did. My cousin Mona came with me. And when we got there, everyone was terrified. They all had fear in their eyes. And I was in the middle of the female side. And because there was a male side and there was a female side, so I was stood in the middle, but the women were so scared that they would push back, so the line would go back, and I ended up at the front. So the man who was being punished was only a few feet away from me. So they brought him out, and before they brought the guy out, they started chanting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, but I refused. I was like, that's Ilahi's name. I'm not about to, you know, disrespect it in that way, especially when I don't agree with what's being done, because I don't know the reason why he did what he did. He could have had a valid reason, but these people don't care, okay? They don't care. They are there to punish, they are there to kill, they are there to destroy and create fear in people. That's it. That's what they're there for. So I refused. My cousin's like, you need to say it, because if the female soldiers see you, then they're gonna whip you on the spot. So I just, you know, started like moving my mouth, but I was not about to say Allahu Akbar because that's Ilahi, and I do everything out of love, so it's not me. So they brought the guy out with a black bag over his head. They nailed him down on the floor. They stretched out his hand, so it took two men. One was holding the hand and the other was holding the arm. And they were pulling that apart. And another one came, took a machete, and literally it took like 2-3 cuts and they completely severed the hand. I was stood there in complete amazement, like in shock that they just did this. And then they take the hand, the severed hand, and they take it by the index finger, and they hand it over to the male soldiers. They take it around, hand it over to the female soldiers. This woman waved it right past my face. The severed hand with the bits coming right past my face. I could not eat for 3 to 4 days. All I could see was that hand, you know, in front of me. I felt physically sick. And I was thinking, what the hell am I doing here? Like, I chose the absolute worst time to come to Somalia. 2011 rolled by, and I still was having some experiences with Al-Shabab. I was in Bulaburte. I also got a chance to go and go to where I grew up, my hometown, Mokokuri, which was absolutely amazing. And I got to meet my grandma and my cousins, and you know, get to go to my sister's grave, which was really nice. But whilst going to Mokokuri, this little village that I'm from in Somalia, when I was getting on the bus, my auntie said to me, "Oh, there's a soldier on the bus." So I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know any of these people. My auntie wasn't gonna come with me. I was going by myself, so I was already terrified. And then she told me that there was a soldier, and he comes and he introduces himself, and he's like, "Oh, give it," like, I don't know, even know, like, word travels really fast, okay? So he's like, "Oh, give it you know, is this Hebel's daughter?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I was raised with your family. Me and your uncle ate from the same plate. You guys have, you know, you're from an amazing family." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And he's like, "If you need anything, just let me know." We go off, we're on this journey. The first break that we took, this this man came from nowhere, out of nowhere, yeah? Comes and stands. I was sat on the passenger side, and he comes and stands right next to my door, and he's like, knock knock, and I'm there, you know, just using my phone, trying to distract myself from everything. And he knocks on the window. So I roll down the window and I'm like, "Maharta, what do you want?" And he goes, he didn't even say anything, he just looked down. I'm like an idiot. I look down, and what did I see? The guy's peeing right next to my car window. The car that I'm in, like, right next to the passenger side window. And I was fuming. Oh my God, I was so angry. I started to lash out. I started to scream at him. And this guy overhears, and he comes over and he's like, "Oh, is everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." "No, actually, it's not okay, because this guy exposed himself to me and I don't appreciate that." And the guy turned around and he's like, "Who told you to look?" I'm like, "Who the hell told you to come and pee right next to me? Can you not go and pee on a tree? Like, it's not that hard. We're in a forest. We're in the middle of nowhere. Like, go find a bush, go find a tree, go pee there. Like, why the hell are you peeing here?" So the guy turns around and he's like, "Oh, if you even look her way again, then me and you are going to have a problem." So the guy backs off, goes back to the back of the bus, and this guy says to me, like, "For your protection, because they, you know, you're new and they can tell, I'll help you." So I was like, "Okay." So he's like, "Let me sit. Do you mind if I sit at front?" And it could only fit 3 people, and it was me and the driver. So I said, "Okay, cool." And I thought this gave me the opportunity to ask as many questions as I possibly could. So I'm like, do you guys kidnap women? Do you guys behead people? Do you guys do this? Do you guys kill, you know, gay people? And they're like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, okay. By the way, I am Muslim and I don't condone that shit. I don't condone killing of no type, period. All right? So anyway, I returned from Mokokuri, and 2 days later, my uncle turns up in Buluburte from my mom's side. And this was, I thought, was a really nice surprise. He came and he's like, I want to, you know, for us to go back to Markov. Anyway, I came to Markov. I was welcomed. I was treated with respect. I was loved. I felt loved anyway. And then I started to notice a change in my uncle. I started to notice a change in the family dynamics. I started to notice a lot of change. And then one day, my uncle comes up to me and he's like, Shamsa, I want to speak to you. So I was like, okay. And from the beginning, I knew something was off. So he said to me, I want you to meet someone. His name is Hassan. He's really nice. And I just said, no. I didn't come here to get married. I didn't come here to seek a relationship or love. I said, no, I'm not with any of that. So I was kind of hoping he would drop it. He didn't. He kept asking and asking, and then the asking kept becoming more intense and more intense. And then one day I was in the shower and I get a massive knock on the door. Like, Soba, get out, come out of the shower now. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? I go out, I have a quick shower, I go out, and here is my uncle sat with another guy and a massive plate of food that I did not see since the first week I came, right? So he was like, oh, Carly, so funny, so come sit down, I want you to meet Hassan. I said, the guy that you mentioned a few days ago. Could you not have told me that he was coming? And he's like, no, Fariso, let me like sit down, let me introduce you to him. I was like, all right, cool. He throws a bombshell my way, yeah? Just throws fire, yeah? He's like, this is your cousin. So I was like, huh? So this is who you wanted me to get married to, and this is my cousin. Well, okay. My first cousin, yeah? This is Habrete my mom's sister's son, right? So I said, I'm not about to have disabled babies. I am an educated woman. I am okay. Thank you. I said, right in front of him. I said, I don't want it. I ain't interested. And then, oh my God, when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they turned around and threw another bombshell my way. And they said, my uncle said, oh, he's 16. I just turned 18, like 2-3 months before, yeah? He's 16. I said, the guy's 2 years younger than me. I said, how the hell is that possible? Not only is he my cousin, but he's also a 16-year-old. I said, there is no way in hell. There is no way in hell I'm getting married. Yeah, I need to get stick. No one listened to a word that came out of my mouth. Everything was the way that they wanted, the way that he wanted. So he tried very hard, tried to get me to go on little dates, although Al-Shabab was there. Like, I was terrified of everything. And one day he said, go get some ice cream. I said, I don't want to get ice cream. Whilst on this journey to get an ice cream, my guy decides to, you know, hold my hand. I said, Ega, fuck. I said, Kir, no, are you crazy? I said, I'm not trying to die here. And the funny thing is, and I knew if I got caught or someone saw us holding hands and they knew we were married and I found out, I would get done. I would get done. He wouldn't get done. I would get done. So I was like, nah, you're not touching me, leave me alone. So Anyway, their plans went on. My uncle just stuck, it was stuck in his head that I'm gonna get married with Arosa, that's it. That's it. He was not thinking anything else. He had a plan, he had a goal, and his ultimate thing was to reach that goal. I had no idea what it was. So one day I said to him, oh, Abdi, I'm speaking to this guy. So can I at least, like, if you want me to get married that badly, let me, like, I'll marry him. He's like, no. He snatched the phone right out of my hand and started beating the shit out of me. I did not see my phone for a few weeks. And the manipulation got worse, the threats got worse. He told me that he will lock me up for being a Asi Walideen, and that's 3 months lockup. And I don't even get me started on the rumors of what they do to people. It's just horrendous. He told me that he'll put my photo in every single checkpoint from Makkah to Mogadishu, the capital. And there was no government in sight. There was no government in sight. There were executions every other day. I just said, no, I'm not going to any more executions. I'm not going to have any more experiences with Al-Shabab. I kept myself to myself. But I couldn't run away from my own family, right? I'm going to have to leave that for part 2 because I don't want to make this video too long. So inshallah, if you want to know part 2, subscribe, hit that like button, and obviously the bell so you can get notified whenever a video is uploaded. And inshallah, I'll see you guys soon. Continue to have a blessed day. Bye.